Hi, in this video we're going to look at a variety of different options available through the Edit and View menus. And these are available in Google Slides, but are very common to other applications. So let's get started. Under Edit, you have your traditional undo and redo buttons. We looked at those already on the toolbar, but this is another place that you could access them from. Remember, when you access them from the menu, if there's a keyboard shortcut, it will be over here. And these are often well worth learning because they can save you a lot of time. In the next section, if something is selected, I'm going to have the option to cut, copy, paste, and paste without formatting. So cut simply means to remove it from the screen, remove it from its location, but copy it into computer memory. So therefore, it's available for me to paste. So I was able to move it from the top to the bottom. Let me just undo that. Of course, copying is different, only in that it loads it to computer memory but doesn't remove it from the page, so that now when I'm ready to paste, I haven't removed the original copy. There we go. Now keep in mind that when you are using the copy and paste and even the undo and redo button, anything along those lines, there are often easier ways to do it than the menu. They're available in the menu, but most people don't use that. Most of those options are going to be available to you by right-clicking, which is a very popular method of accessing them. And the other way is by using these keyboard shortcuts that are shown here. So if you don't remember one, you can always come into the menu to find out what it is, learn how to do it, and that's a faster way to use it. Let me create a new blank slide here. Next thing I'd like to talk about on the menu is this paste without formatting feature. Now that's particularly useful when you're getting content from another document. So this is a Microsoft Word document. The text already has some formatting on it. You can see that the sizes are different, the fonts are different, there's color, maybe even this is a bulleted list, and maybe it's even italicized or something. So what I can do is from Word copy this information, but when I come into my presentation, I don't really just want to paste it because it's going to bring a lot of that formatting across and it can prove problematic. I'd rather have it that text pick up as much of the styling of my presentation as possible, and I can simply do that by saying paste without formatting. Now this is not a perfect process. Note that it did pick up the color, it did pick up the sizing that we were expecting, but one thing that happened here is this bulleted list didn't really come across as a bulleted list. It was interpreted, it's just an extra character in there with a tab. So in that case, even though I was wise and I used the paste without formatting, it didn't do a perfect job. The other thing is, if I were to go and try to make this into a bulleted list, you see it doesn't work quite right, and that's because a bulleted list, the way it knows where to put the bullets is based on where the new paragraphs are. So when I brought it across from Word, even though these were originally paragraphs, that kind of got lost in the translation. And to fix that, I'm just going to back up to the line and hit enter. And you can see now by putting that enter in, it knows for sure that that's a paragraph. And this top line didn't really get the bullets before, so that puts it into the format that I want. Okay, so remember, paste without formatting will save you some headaches, but there is some cleanup that you may need to do depending on how much formatting or what types of formatting existed in the original text. Okay, next couple of options, delete and duplicate, are not applying to text so much, but objects. So usually it's the slide. So if I'm clicking on this slide itself, you can see that now I can delete it, or I could duplicate it. So let's start by duplicating it. And you can see that there's now just two copies above and below each other. So I'll undo that. My other option would have been to simply delete the slide. Now again, there are faster ways to do this. You can right-click and copy and paste it. or you can click on these things and hit the delete key if you're looking to get rid of them. Okay. Now here's something interesting. This is the Web Clipboard, and this is a little feature. If you notice, when I go in here it says Web Clipboard Help. That's the only option I have right now. But let's say that I was in a Google Doc, and this is something I wanted to copy and paste, but I might want to do it multiple times or in different areas of the document. From here I can copy it to the Web Clipboard. Now I'm also going to copy this so I don't have to waste time and come back later. And then I'll pretend this is going to be my header text, and I'll also copy that. So I have multiple things that I want to copy, and I don't want to go back and forth. I mean, there's certainly ways to do it, but I just don't want to do it. Now when I come into my Google Slide, Presentation, I'll add a blank slide for this, and I go to Paste, come into this box, and I can come down to my Web Clipboard and I can see, oh, this is the header text, and look at that. It goes right in there, it picks up the formatting. I am going to go back to my Web Clipboard and say, here is a quote. No, I like this paragraph first, so I put that in there. And of course I could jump to a whole new slide now if I wanted, but I'll just come in here and I'll put the quote in. So it's just a way that you can store information and get back to it later without having to copy and paste immediately. Okay, notice also that when I'm done, I have a Clear All Items button, so I can just clean up that clipboard. That's not going to delete anything that I've pasted, but it is going to remove those items that are on a clipboard. There is a Select All button. Now the Select All button is context sensitive. So in other words, right now I'm clicked on a text box, so if I say Select All, it will get all the content of that text box. If I was not clicked on it, but simply clicked on the slide, Select All would get all the content of the slide. Okay, there's also a Select None, where you can deselect. But it's probably easier in this case just to click somewhere and let it deselect that way. But the choice is available to you in the edit menu if you want to use it. There's also a nice find and replace feature. You've always got to be careful with find and replace. Let's say that I want to change anywhere it says important to very important. I am going to do a find and replace. What am I going to find? I'm going to find the word important and then very important. You do have to be careful when using this feature. You can damage your text and actually damage it to the point that you're going to have to start over if you're not careful. But if you are careful, it's a very nice, powerful tool. You can also match case if you want. So if you're looking for something that's all lowercase or starts with a capital, you can use that feature if you need to. And you can page through and look at them individually. Or I can just say either replace, here's the first instance of important, or actually it's over here. And see, now it says this says very important. It's going to jump to the next one. Very important. It's back up here on the top. Now I could say replace all if I wanted. And I would get all of the instances. Now they all now say very important. Okay, so again, advice to the wise: be careful with find and replace. Good tool, but be careful you know exactly what it's going to do before you use it. Second menu is the View menu. Very simple. There's a Present option. And that brings you into your slideshow view. There's Animations, and these allow you to have the text come in instead of being on a slide, to come in through various different animations. So I'm going to click on the box down there. I'm going to select to animate, and there are some simple ones. So let's just say fly from the left. That's going to happen when I click, although I could have it happen either after the previous animation happened or with the previous animation, so it happens at the same time. Either one. And I can play it here, see what it's going to do. Okay, it's waiting for me. Click. And it all slides in. Now other options. I can have this happen by paragraph. And now it'll take 2 clicks because I have 2 paragraphs. Let's see how that works. Click, click. Great. And I can also adjust the speed that it happens, so it can either come in very, very quickly or a little more slowly. Be careful with animations. Animations might seem like a good idea, but they can become very monotonous to your audience. So use them carefully. And then you can add additional animations here. So if I had not only this text, but if I had a picture here, I could click the picture, add another animation, etc. Okay, next, this is the Slide Master, and just know that it's there. I'll unclick it for now, and we'll come back to that, and we'll deal with that in a whole nother video because there's a lot to the Slide Master. You can now click it at 50% view, which is small, 100%, and you can also use these zoom in and zoom out tools for the same thing. If you click on Fit, which is the same as this button right here, it'll get you a nice size to see on your screen. So it's just a way to zoom in and out. Know that you can also, right now I'm holding down the Control key on my keyboard and spinning the mouse wheel. So another way to zoom in and out. And you can see that this is now much larger compared to my menus, etc. So let me use actually this feature up here to return to 100% view and to get everything righted. Okay, there's snap to guides and snap to grid. So there's a grid and guides underlying this. And especially if you had a lot of pictures, you can turn those on. And then when you go to put an item in place, it's going to go to the next available spot. It's not going to let you put it anywhere along the continuum, but it's going to jump to the next line on the grid. And that's sometimes useful for alignment purposes to get things lined up. Right now I have the option to show spelling suggestions turned on, but I can turn it off if I'd like, and show speaker notes, which are down at the bottom here. If we shut that off, you get a little more room for your slides. So if that's not something you're in the habit of using, that's fine, just shut them off. But if you like to keep notes there, turn your speaker notes on, and it would allow you to make some notes about this particular slide. These options, compact controls, basically it's just dropping this out of your view to get you a little more room, and you can do that here as well, but you can do it through the view and the compact controls. And full screen drops even more controls out so you can have more room to work on your slide. Notice it's telling you if you want them back now, you're going to have to hit the escape key on your keyboard, and that'll bring everything back to normal. Okay, those are the major features of the edit and view, minus the master, which, as I said, we'll revisit in another video.